morning, everyone. Today's service is a big old music service, and so we're going to start with some singing before we do anything else. So I'm going to sing a line, and then you guys can sing it back after me for the first one. It's called "Oh, We Give Thanks." So listen, then you sing. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day, for all gathered here, and those far away, for this time we share, with love and care. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day. Oh, we give thanks for the old and young, for a time of wonder, joy and fun, for all we give as we grow and live. Oh, we give thanks for the old and young. And then we'll do that first verse again. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day, for all gathered here, and those far away, for this time we share, with love and care. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day.
Everybody, you can stand up. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Open your ears to the song. Open your ears to the song. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Open your hearts, everyone. Open your hearts, everyone. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Don't be afraid of some change. Don't be afraid of some change. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. You may be seated. Hello and welcome to the Bellingham Unitarian Fellowship, which we refer to fondly as BUF. We're really glad that you chose to be here this morning, whether you're here in person or on Zoom. My name is Carrie Kenline, and it is my pleasure and privilege to be your celebrant this morning, although you will see many members of the Celebrant team this morning. This is the first Sunday service after saying goodbye to Reverend Paul Rackl. He was our beloved minister here for 11 years, and he retired to move to Minneapolis and be with family. Reverend Dr. Barbara Wells Tenhove is coordinating our summer services, and bless her heart, is also serving as our transitional support minister through September. For announcements, please refer to your order of service, but I do want to make a note that our next contemplative Teze service, which happens the first Monday night of every month, is not tomorrow night, it's the 7th, July 7th. It's a funny month. So, about today, Barbara will share more about our service in a little bit. For now, let me just say that all the songs we'll be doing today come from our 2 UU hymnals, and you'll be learning something about each of the songs. Normally at this point, we listen to a little instrumental prelude to lead us into our time of worship. But today's a little different because it's all about singing. And in a moment, I'll be inviting you to sing with one of my choices, which is We're Gonna Sit at the Welcome Table. It's a simple song, it's really easy to sing, it's got a catchy tune, and in that way, it's very welcoming. But it's also a powerful song because it puts forth a vision of a table where we can all come together. It began as an African-American spiritual, and we don't know who wrote it, but it was most likely an enslaved person yearning for freedom, yearning for a world that would be much more welcoming even to them, and goodness knows we're still very far away from that vision, but we're working on it. The song made its way to the civil rights movement in the 1960s, and they would swap in some interesting new lines that were relevant for the times, like, I'm gonna sit at the Woolworth counter. Because if you were a black person in the segregated South, it was illegal for you to sit at the department store lunch counter. And to do so was a powerful act of peaceful protest. And they did it, along with many other things, despite the white hecklers, despite not being served ever. And this song, like many others, was part of what fueled their courage and their willingness to persist. In 1992, Mary Allen Walden arranged this hymn for the UU hymnal, and it was a perfect fit with our faith's intention to be welcoming to all who come in the spirit of goodwill. That intention is a work in progress, but we re-inspire ourselves towards that vision when we sing this song. So please, rise in body or spirit and sing it with me now, and the words will be on the screen.
Thank you, Carrie, and thank you, Andrea, and thanks to all of you for being here this morning. Brave souls that got out of your beds and found your way to church on a beautiful sunny day. Well, as many of you know, because I hope you were here, last Sunday we bid a fond farewell to our beloved minister, Paul Rackl, and his wife, Jane, because Paul is retiring and moving to Minneapolis to be near family, in particular, grandchildren. It's a big change for Buff, and I expect we're all feeling a bit wobbly. And some of that wobble comes from the challenging reality that for the moment, Buff has not yet found an interim or a contract minister. While leaders in the church are looking for a minister to start as soon as possible, in the meantime, you got me. Thank you. I'm not I'm not going down that road. And by the way, I am the Reverend Dr. Barbara Wells Tenhove. I've been a minister for 40 years, and it's a privilege and a pleasure for me to sit in the pew here at Buff and occasionally to come into the pulpit. I'm serving currently as in a quarter-time capacity, emphasis on quarter-time, as your transitional support minister, managing the Sunday services, which I've done the last 2 Sundays, so that's not real new for me. But I'm also supporting the staff and just filling in where I need to. The board has appointed an interim operations team to manage many of the elements of church life, and I'll be in regular communication with them and with the board as we navigate this. Now, I'm happy to talk with you after the service about my role. But for now, I want to acknowledge that while I'm glad to be able to help out in this way, I do hope that I'll be able to move from the pew to the pulpit and then back again with ease. But I may not do it perfectly because it means living in 2 places, which can be challenging. So please forgive me if I make mistakes, because I will. Finally, I'm aware that the world also seems to be in a constant state of wobble. So the Celebrant team and I determined that today would be a good Sunday to sing and to try to get the wobblies out through song. And given that it's the last Sunday in Pride Month, we chose the theme DEI. Oh, those dreaded letters, DEI. Songs of diversity, equity and inclusion, delight, energy, and inspiration as our theme. And I'm so grateful to the Celebrant team members who helped to choose the music and will share some of their thoughts on it, and to the many members of the Uplift team who are participating in today's service. Dear ones, we've got this. Yes, we have. Thank you, Joey. So let us remember who we are and why we're here by reciting our covenant, which you can find in your order of service. And I assume it will show up here on the screen. There it is. Love is the spirit of this fellowship, and service gives it life. Celebrating our diversity and joined by a quest for truth, we work for peace and honor all creation. This is our covenant. Now I'd like to invite Cass Miller to come forward.
My name is Cass Miller, and my pronouns are they, them. For today's chalice lighting, Carrie will be lighting the chalice as I read a prayer for my queer and trans siblings, a poem by J. Robert Reynolds. Here you are, here in this holy space, on this ground that is holy because you are here. Here you are in flesh and bone, filling up this body that belongs to you alone. Your pumping heart is a wonder because it keeps you alive. Your loving heart is a blessing because it keeps all of us alive. The spirit of love has a home in you. May we all see that love in you and let our hearts become mirrors for the compassion at your core. The spirit of justice has a home in you. May we light our wicks from one another until we are all aflame, until we burn out every prejudice we carry in these bones. Here you are, holy as you are. Blessed be.
Thank you, Cass. And speaking of flames, it is one of the things we do here each time we gather in community. We light a flame in our chalice. And it's fun to sing about fire. It's fun to play with fire too, but I'm not suggesting that. But I would like some help in singing this song. So Marta, Joey, I'm going to need your help and your friends' help too. So this song has motions. And I'm going to ask you all to stay seated so we can see the motions, okay? The first one is just simply sticking your finger up in the air, because this little light, this is your little light, and we're going to let it shine, or I'm going to let it shine. So we're going to start there, but then we're going to do some other things. So when I do different things, everyone here has to do those different things too. Okay, that's the covenant that I have with you. Is that when I say do this, yay! Just for today, it'll stop later. Okay, so here we go. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. All around the neighborhood, all around the neighborhood, I'm gonna let it shine. All around the neighborhood, I'm gonna let it shine. All around the neighborhood, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it. Now here's a really fun one, so watch. Put it under a bushel. No! I'm gonna let it shine. Okay, can we do that? Put it under a bushel. No! I'm gonna let it shine. Put it under a bushel. No! I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. You're gonna come with me. Shine all around the world. All around the world. I'm gonna let it shine. All around the world. I'm gonna let it shine. All around the world. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Now we're gonna do a really fun one. All around the universe, I'm gonna let it shine. All around the universe, I'm gonna let it shine. All around the universe, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Now we're gonna go back to singing This Little Light of Mine, and it's time for our young ones to find their way to their program upstairs. So here we go. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Woo! Can you tell I like to sing? Well, I grew up singing hymns. And at home, we often sang what my mother called Jesus songs. Hymns that my parents learned during their Methodist childhoods. Now, my mother wasn't overly fond of the hymns we sang in our Unitarian church. Lots of words, not enough good music, people reading along and not singing because they needed to make sure they agreed before they finished. Now, my mother was eclectic in her taste, but she preferred hymns with beautiful melodies like In the Garden and Amazing Grace. Still, she encouraged her daughters, 4 of us, to learn the hymns sung in our UU church, the church where my dad was the minister. Now, I was lucky because this church, First Parish, Lexington, Massachusetts, was the church my dad served from 1968 to 71 when I was age 8 to 11. And it had an enormous children's choir. It was an old-fashioned New England church, as you can tell, and we wore red robes and white chasubles, which are those things you put over the red robe. Mine was number 1 because I was the shortest kid. And we all looked a little like British choir boys. Now, I don't remember the name of my choir director. I wish I did. But I do remember singing a lot. In particular, learning music from the children's hymnal put together before the UUA was put together by the American Unitarian Association and the Ethical Culture Society. And it was called We Sing of Life. And it was full of music that was pretty singable and clear in the messages that they were trying to teach us. We sang songs in different languages, like Hine Matov, which is the Hebrew round, with the words are how good and pleasant it is to live together in peace. We learned hymns about the natural world, such as God Give Me Mountains, and we sing of golden mornings, music that gave each of us a sense of the majesty of the earth. And we sang about, yes, in the 1960s, we sang about diversity, equity, and inclusion, as we learned hymns that ultimately made it into the adult hymnal, such as Die Gedanken sind frei, which I learned as My Thoughts Are as Free as Wind or the Ocean. And we learned a song of peace, which reminded us that we must pray for peace in their land and for mine. People sing in religious community to learn about their religion, but also because it provides us with those other DEI words we're highlighting today. Delight, and energy, and inspiration, even as it teaches us the values of diversity and equity and inclusion. The hymns that have been chosen today on this last Sunday of Pride Month, while they might not have been the ones that I learned as a UU child nearly 60 years ago, they are a part of a long line of musical lessons brought to our children, youth, and adults in Unitarian Universalist congregations. Lessons learned through joyful singing. So, we're going to keep singing. The hymn we're about to do was written by my friend and colleague, Lynn Unger. When Lynn was a student at Star King School for the Ministry, she found a modern translation of some words written by the 13th century Persian poet Rumi that spoke powerfully to her as a lesbian studying to be a minister in the 1980s, which was pretty radical then. Now, Lynn put these words to music, and they were added to the 1993 hymnal, Singing the Living Tradition, which we tend to call the Gray Hymnal. And Come, Come, Whoever You Are is a powerful testament of welcome, particularly when you add in the lower part that was left out of the hymnal. So I'm going to invite Tom and Jocko to come forward because they're going to help us with that lower part. And once we've got that lower part going nicely, then we're going to sing the Come, Come, Whoever You Are, and the words will miraculously appear on the screen. And those of you with higher voices or who just want to sing, whatever you want to sing is fine. Carrie's going to help me. So here's how we're going to do this. They're going to start the drone, and then after they sing the drone a few times, then we'll start singing Come, Come, Whoever You Are. If you want to look at it in your hymnal, you can. It's 188, I think. Yeah, 188. And then we're going to turn it into a round. Please just follow along. Jock will be on the drum. That'll keep it going. Okay, so we ready?
Though broken broken your vows 1,000 times, though you've broken your vows 1,000 times,
though you've broken your vows 1,000 times, though you've broken your vows 1,000 times, come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving, ours is your caravan of despair. Come yet again, come, 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 whoever you are, come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving, ours is your caravan of despair. Come, come, whoever you are, come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving, ours is your. One more time. Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving, ours is your caravan of despair. Come yet again, come.
Good morning. My name is Stephanie Rains, and I thought I could do this intro without my written notes, but I know I'm going to cry, so I have to have them with me. This next piece of music has great personal meaning for me. When I first heard it, I wept. I heard it at a women's spirituality conference in Seattle in the late 1980s. I don't think she had put it on an album yet. Libby Roderick sang it. In person, I got to hear her sing it. At that time, I was in a new relationship with Lynn, my wife, who's not here today. I had previously been in a 9-year, very closeted lesbian relationship where we were both educators. We were fearful of losing our jobs. Lynn and I had 2 small children, and so we were working really hard to live openly as the loving lesbian family that we were becoming. I had come out to my parents. They were surprised, devastated by my news. In fact, they told me not to come to visit them that summer. Hearing Libby sing this song reminded me of my wholeness. This song has become an anthem of loving affirmation for many marginalized people, people in prison, people with all kinds of disabilities, all over the world. So please join me this morning in singing it, and we're going to sing it seated as a kind of meditation, actually. And we'll sing it through 3 times.
everyone. Hi, I'm Panda. How is everyone today? Okay. I need your help. I'm going to be giving a talk about something very difficult to listen to. And so the help I need from you is to join me in appreciating that fact. And the way you're going to do that is whenever I say anything that pains your heart, feels like an injustice, makes you feel heartsick, or you feel righteous anger, I want you to raise your hand just for a second, put it down until maybe one of those feelings arises again. Agreed? Is this our covenant too? Okay. So, Harvey Milk was the first ever elected openly gay man in America. He came to office on November 3rd, 1977, on the same date with the same title that Dan White was also elected. Changes to district voting in San Francisco at that time allowed for this possibility. It was the first time that marginalized people were represented in San Francisco. The reason that this happened is because they voted that they would vote by district instead of in general election, all of San Francisco being represented. And so women and minorities were also represented for the first time on this board. Before this, you pretty much had to be a white man who owned property in San Francisco in order to get elected. Now, in the context of history, you need to understand that Milk came to office only 8 years after the New York City Stonewall Inn riots. Both Mayor George Moscone and Harvey Milk proved to be incredible allies and friends, not only to the queer community, but all other marginalized communities in the city of San Francisco. Conversely, Dan White was a conservative, a former firefighter who represented a Christian white neighborhood. Anyway, back on point. 1 year after election, Dan White killed in cold blood both Mayor Moscone and Superintendent Harvey Milk. Leading up to the murders, Dan White angrily quit his job as a supervisor, and less than a year into his term, when he changed his mind and decided he wanted his job back, it was the mayor's responsibility and duty to determine whether he should get it. Harvey Milk lobbied long and hard to not have him reappointed. When the mayor told Dan White that he would not get his job back after this lobbying, hearing the news, Dan White conjured this plan, which he implemented. He premeditatively snuck in through a window in the side of City Hall. He was carrying with him a loaded gun and 12 additional rounds of bullets in his pocket. He made his way to Mayor Moscone's office and unloaded 2 shots into his body. And then, ensuring his objective, he triggered 2 more bullets into Mayor Moscone's head, point blank. Using a back door that led out of Mayor Moscone's office, he walked down a secret hall and he made his way to Harvey Milk's office. On the way, he reloaded his gun. He shot Harvey Milk 5 times, killing him in the matter of minutes. The San Francisco community's response to these brutal slaughters was a silent candlelight vigil. It was attended by an estimated 25,000 to 40,000 people, all peacefully walking in silence through the streets of San Francisco. The city was completely united in its grief. In May 1979, Dan White was found not guilty of murder. Instead, he was found guilty of 2 counts of involuntary manslaughter, the softest judgment that he could have possibly received. He was released 5 years later from prison for good behavior. While in prison, Dan White admitted that it had been his intention to kill 4 people that day: Moscone, Milk, Willie Brown, and Carol Ruth Silver. At that time in history, the LGBT community had just overcome the assault of Proposition 6, which was the attack on queer school teachers. The gay movement was just gaining ground. Still, it was very clear for all of us back then, myself included, that had Moscone been the sole victim, the sentence would have been much lighter. The night the verdict was announced, an insurrection broke out. That came to be known as the White Night Riot. Police cars were firebombed. City Hall windows were broken. The queer community's anger that night was as intense as their grief had been on the night of their deaths. Harvey Milk left a will to be read in the event of his assassination. In it, he emphasized that we must give people hope, and the way to extend that hope is to be seen. We have to be seen as who we are. To come out of every closet, he said. I remember him personally saying, if a bullet should enter my brain, let that bullet destroy every closet door. I didn't write this in my talk, but I have to share this with you. I was 19 at the time of his assassination, and he was my idol. When he died, I went down and I went to a print shop, and I had a wedding announcement printed that said, Robin, please, his given name, Robin is pleased to announce the truth of who she is. And you open the card and it said, I am a lesbian. And I took paper clippings of the Moscone and Milk murder and I put it inside an envelope and I wrote a personal letter to every single friend and family I had and mailed it. And that was my final coming out. So as you have raised your hands today as signs of your empathy and humanity, you can viscerally know that those of us back then felt pain, anger, sorrow, rage. That was 1979, and here we are today when they have just removed Harvey Milk's name from the ship that was dedicated in his honor. You know, and your conscience knows, what it means to channel our pain and our anger into worthy efforts today and every day forward. In reflection of the 2 events that I have just detailed for you, the March of Grief and the Riot of Anger, we have chosen Holly Near's song that she wrote right after this assassination. And I would like to ask you to sing it all with me now, if you will rise. This song has endured as a protest anthem for many, many years and many years into the future as we carry it forward today.
We are gentle and free people.
probably really obvious, but I'm going to state the obvious. These issues have not gone away. There is great need for public support for gay, lesbian, trans, etc., all the queer folk, all the people who are different, all of the people who need to feel that they are part of all of us. So not next Sunday, the following Sunday is Bellingham's Pride March.
The 13th.
Yep.
The 13th.
And I'd like to ask all of the Uplift members who might have worn their T-shirts to stand. We'll be wearing them in the parade. Thank you. Hooray. And you don't need to be part of the Uplift group to come and march or to stand on the sidewalks to cheer us on. And there is a website where you can get the specifics, but the gathering place is down at Waypoint Park, and there's walking, and you don't have to do it all, or you can do some of it, and there is a market and festive gathering at the depot. So, could I just see a show of hands of people who are intending to support the Pride Parade? Thank you.
And I would like to add, come as you are.
Yes. Yes. Here you go. And thank you to Panda for that incredible story.
Before we move into our time of offering, Andrea has something she wants to share with us.
My work with Buff started 23 years ago when my daughter was a baby and I was living as a straight person. And it's because of the work that you were just speaking of that I have now found the love of my life in a woman. So thank you for being the community that normalized that for me and made it possible in my mind. My announcement is not that, actually. My announcement is that my time of playing music here at Buff is coming to an end. It's been a hard decision to make because I really care about this place and all of you and what you stand for, and have deliberated about that decision for a long time, and I know that it comes at a hard time when there's been so much transition in the staff here, particularly last week, of course. So I'm sorry it comes at a hard time, and I want you to know it's not personal. I have really loved my work here, and it's just time for me to recenter my professional energy on some other things that are important to me. I just feel like it's been a fantastic match for a really long time. So thank you for I have felt so well appreciated here. I felt like my gifts have served well here. And I'm just so grateful for all the time that I've gotten to be part of creating these experiences for us all. So I will continue my commitment to the end of August, and then I will be free on Sunday mornings. Thank you.
So, Andrea, I think you know how much we love you, and I don't know anyone here who has ever taken for granted the gifts you've shared with us. It's always been just an amazing thing to have you here. Don't we just love all this change? Well, in a moment, Andrea will be playing the music for hymn number 121, We'll Build a Land. The words, written by Barbara Zanotti, are inspirational. We'll build a land where we bind up the broken. We'll build a land where the captives grow free. But I find the music written by Carolyn McDade even more inspiring. Both carry for me the feeling of what we're trying to do here at Buff, to build something that aligns with our principles and embodies the words we say in our covenant. A true community of compassion and belonging that walks our talk. When I give money, time, and energy to Buff, I feel like I'm part of building that. So as we gather our morning offering, let's listen as Andrea plays, and I invite you to contribute in any ways you can to what we're building here. Thank you.
Andrea, we're going to miss you so much. Thanks for saying that, Stephanie. So many of you give to Buff in so many ways. You give of your time, energy, and skills, but financial contributions are also necessary to keep Buff going. So we just want to thank you for whatever you were able to give this morning during the offering. The song I'm going to introduce is called Now Let Us Sing. Kind of appropriate for today's service, right? It's number 368 in the Gray Hymnal. The words will be up on the screen. And I think it's a song that a lot of you are familiar with. It's a song with two parts. So at this time, I'd like to ask Jim, Reimer, and Jocko to come up and help me with the lower part. And Barbara, Carrie, and Patricia are going to help with the higher part. While they're on their way up, I just want to say a couple of things. One thing I like about the song is that you can't really sing it by yourself. It has two parts, you know, so it's a great kind of metaphor for community and for Buff and how we all, in order to sing our song, we have to get together and sing. And the other part is, traditionally, I think the lower part is sung by men and the higher part is sung by women, but I really encourage you to follow your voice with this. Now, if you feel like singing the low part, go for it, and if you want to sing the higher part, then sing that, okay? So we'll leave it up to you as to which part you sing, because this is a Unitarian Universalist church, and everybody gets to make their own decisions, right? Okay, so we're going to run through the low part 2 times, just to kind of get it in your head, and then we'll start all together after that. Okay, so here's the low part. Now let us sing, 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 sing. Now let us sing, 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 sing. Lift up your voice, be not afraid. Now let us sing to the power of the faith within. Now let us sing, 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 sing. Now let us sing, 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 sing. Lift up your voice, be not afraid. Now let us sing to the power of the hope within. Sing, sing, now let us sing, 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 sing. Now lift your voice.
Whoa, that's not going to work. We have new technology here. We have tall people, we have short people. We're very diverse. So, this is not where I thought we would be at the end of this service. But Be that as it may, so it's hard to be joyful in the face of all the scary, awful, weird things that are going on in the world. And in fact, for me, I feel guilty feeling some joy and singing. But we do have to replenish our compassion. And we do that in singing and coming together and dancing. We are gonna dance. So rise in body and spirit. Get out in the aisles. We are gonna dance. The words will be up here, all together now.
Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance we do. May I have this dance with you. Through the good times and the bad times too. Let it be a dance. Let a dancing song be heard. Let the music say the words. And let us have a singing birds. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Every fall runs a
Second two pages.
Let the boys ever sing. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance we do. May I have this dance with you. Through the good times and the bad ones too. Let it be a dance. Everybody turn and spin, like the body learned to bend, and like a willow with the wind. Let it be a dance, let it be a dance, let it be a dance. Like Charlotte's rodeo must I, a time to love, a time to ride. So take it as it passes by. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance we do. May I have this dance with you. Through the good times and the bad times too. Let it be a dance. Morning starts out at night. Without the dark there is no light. If nothing's wrong and nothing's right. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Let the sunshine, let it rain. Share the battle, share the pain. Let it be a dance. Cha-cha-cha.
Well, as we dance our way home, let us remember to share the laughter and bear the pain in this beloved community. Yes, we are angry, but we are gentle too. As Carrie extinguishes the flaming chalice, symbol of our faith, let us recommit to this religion that calls us to build a better world, one step, one day, one little light at a time. So, beloveds, let's circle round for freedom for our children and our children's children, keeping the circle whole.
For all of us in
peace, my friends. Return in love. Amen. And blessed be.